So I originally got into Jiu-Jitsu. So I made my blue belt. One of the biggest things that helped me, you're going to be put in bad positions, competition attitude. So I originally got into Jiu-Jitsu as a way to find something to do. I needed a hobby. I needed a life. After not finding a job for 10 years, I just was lost. Uh, I kept hearing Joe Rogan, Jocko Willink, and, all those other famous people talk about how hard it was. I like doing hard stuff. I've always loved learning. I've got 2 degrees in cybersecurity, 13 certifications, and for 10 years I couldn't find a job. I'm that guy they wrote articles about. Like, I just needed something new. Fishing, golf. I'm retired from the military. That wasn't going to do it for me. I've been to war. I've been around the world. I've been to 46 out of 48 continental states and just hung out. Colorado was great, but it just wasn't enough. I needed more. I needed something for me. But at the same time, I needed to get better, and I didn't even know it, because it turns out my traumatic brain injury was more of a problem than my PTSD alone is. And never mind, I have a bad back and a bad elbow and stuff. So, like, I have physical problems too. But lo and behold, I also had low testosterone. So let's go down that rabbit hole, right? You know? It's a good thing I have yearly blood checks at the VA, or I wouldn't even have known, to be honest. A low level is a low level, but seeing that drop off after a few years, having them check it, yeah, it was bad. That made everything worse. And now that I'm on TRT, it's so much better for my depression. It's the best thing I've ever did. My psychologist and my psychiatrist both agree. I have both. I'm lucky enough to have both. I realize that. But it took a lot of fighting at the VA to do that. I'm always fighting them. I have the head of the video guy because I got dropped by 5 other psychiatrists in 2 civilian companies. The VA isn't fixed. It's not great. It's getting there, though. But, So I made my blue belt in 110 sessions. A lot of people said that it couldn't be done in under 120. And I'll tell you, one thing that did help was the fact that I wrestled in high school. No, it's not D1 wrestling, but I have a basic understanding, and our coach uses a lot of wrestling as a warm-up for advanced class. Plus, we have a wrestling day. One of the biggest things that helped me was learning not to be a white belt spaz. You have to be in touch with your body. You have to calm down, but also competing helps you learn that. I know since competing, I've calmed down even more, but I was not a spaz after like 2 months, because that was the first thing I focused on. And focusing on something one at a time can help you along the way when you're lost. You're going to be put in bad positions. Sometimes it's on purpose. You start out, you're in closed guard for the drill, and all you have to do is sweep or submit the guy, but the other guy's got to break your guard. He's got to pass your guard. There's a lot of drills you need to work on. Defending and escaping pins, half guard top and bottom, closed guard top and bottom, guard passing top and bottom. Try not to pass from your knees when you're starting out. I never pass from my knees. I'm always standing when I pass. Outside passes, knee cuts. I start standing when I do those. And then you're working on your pins. Is your weight distribution okay? And then if you're not good at standing, you really got to work on it, because us jiu-jitsu people suck at it, right? Russian sambo, judo, wrestling, all that stuff is important. And then you got to master your mind. So here's my favorite instructionals, right? You got John Danaher. He's like the best. Gordon Ryan, Craig Jones, Mikey Musumeci, Marcelo Garcia is probably one of the best. Lachlan Giles, Levi Jones-Leary. He was mentioned to me by one of my coaches. Thanks, Sam. You're great. One of the things Coach told me about was write down every position that you know. Write down 3 moves from the position, 3 sweeps, 3 subs, 3 reversals, 3 escapes. And that helped me see where I was. And then I worked from there and started working on stuff. I want to take a second to talk about competition attitude. I've tried 3 different ways so far, and I don't really know what competition attitude I should have. Leave a comment down below if you've got an idea about this. But I've tried a real serious MMA attitude where everything was like treated like the MMA guys. Do the cut and weight, train weight training, super focused on the guys, focused on your program, on your process, on your flow, things like that. And then I tried a more playful attitude where I was talkative, playful. I wanted to get to know my competitors. I wanted to just keep it loose and friendly. That didn't go so well, but maybe it did. I don't know. And then I tried super mad, super angry from a place of darkness, right? I tried to use the darkness, the pain, that everything I've been through, homelessness, the war, everything that I've ever been through. I tried to use that, and that didn't work. It needs to be more of a scalpel than a blunt instrument, that's for sure.